Ave, true to Christ. Hey everybody, this is Catholic Trash Talk, and today we are going to be talking about more of the Jesus challenges, but I just want to remind you guys that we do have a playlist in the channel. You can look up Jesus. It'll be under Radical Like Jesus challenges. I just want to remind you guys that the point of these videos is to make it so they are standalone. You could watch them in any order that you want. And these are just different challenges that you can do that you want to aim to do 21 days if you can, or just do them every day. A new challenge every day, whatever order you want to do it in. But this is to help build our faith and to strengthen us and who we are. But the main goals of this series is 1, to point out the dangers of Protestantism, 2, to give you an everyday challenge on something to work on, and 3, to call out my old Protestant self. So it's fun for everybody. So let me get the video started and we'll get right into it.
In middle school and high school, I wrestled, and there's something interesting about wrestling. When you wrestle somebody, you're never more close to them physically because you're fighting and vying for control to try to pin their shoulders to the mat. And there's an interesting wrestling story in Genesis 32 when Jacob, who's by himself, is all of a sudden confronted by a man. It says they wrestle all night to the next morning. And I believe that man was Christ. Christophany is a theological term, an Old Testament appearance of Christ. And Christ says, "Let me go." And Jacob's holding on for dear life. He says, "I will not let you go until you bless me." And in the midst of all this, Christ had touched his hip and wrenched it from his place, but Jacob still would not let go until Christ blessed him. And from that moment on, Jacob walked with a limp, but he also walked with a smile because his name had been changed from Jacob to Israel. He'd been blessed by Christ. You fast forward that, you see Christ again as a wrestler, but this time in the Garden of Gethsemane. He's wrestling with the Father. He's looking for a loophole in the atonement contract in the Garden of Gethsemane. He's literally sweating blood as he wrestles, and finally he taps out and says, "Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." And he went to the cross and died in our place for our sin. What an image of prayer, wrestling with God. I want to challenge you. I'll give you a Radical Like Jesus challenge. And that challenge is to go somewhere, just like Jesus did, the Garden of Gethsemane, and wrestle with God. I want you to take an hour, maybe a place that's outside, near no one, and out loud, with words, pray to God and wrestle with him over whatever those areas are in your life. Let's learn to become radical like Jesus. There's 20 other challenges in my book, Radical Like Jesus. This one I really want to challenge you to do so that you can learn to pray and wrestle like Christ, like Jacob.
So I do like this challenge, and I'm going to change it a little bit. One thing I want to correct is, it was a theophany that Jacob was wrestling with, so it was basically like a representation of God, but it wasn't actually like God there in the flesh. Jacob ended up seeing the face of God when he had won the wrestling match. But what God had done in return is blessed him, but had gotten his thigh and weakened him. So him gaining that blessing and fighting for it came at a cost. But it was worth it in his eyes. He didn't give up. So it's the same thing that we have to do, no matter what you struggle with, whether it's suicidal ideation, whether it is family struggles, whether it is financial struggles, whether it is addiction, whatever you're struggling with. I want to change the challenge that he's given and urge you to go out into nature. And you got to be able to hear the sounds of nature wherever you're going, whether it's forest, whether it's the beach, whether it's something. You just have to go there. And I want you to be able to sit there in that nature or to walk in that nature without any music, without using any technology. It's just going to be you and nature reflecting and thinking on your journey with God. And if you are able to, you can yell out to God and to pray with your whole heart and to wrestle with God and to share God your anger, your passions, and why these things happen to you. and come to terms with it. One of the things that's really important that I've learned in my journey of dealing with, fighting with suicidal thoughts and fighting with struggles and overcoming CPTSD and learning how to deal with adjustment disorder and having everything in my life keep me from God, and I have no reason to be with God, and I have every reason to be mopey and sad and angry, and yet here I am healed thanks to the Lord, and everything that I have I owe to the Lord. And you got to really reflect on that, and what are the ways that terrible things have happened, and how could I recontextualize it in a way of maybe there was a greater plan, or how can I see and connect the breadcrumbs on why these things happen to me? Why did God allow these things to happen to me? But you need to wrestle with it, build that resilience, and overcome whatever struggle you're having that's keeping you from giving yourself completely to God. So again, a reminder, go to anywhere in nature, whether it's the beach, forest, trail, whatever. And I want you to either sit or walk for an hour. No technology, no music. And you just got to sit with God and pray and maybe yell at him and maybe fight it out. But get it out. Let go of whatever it is you're carrying and let it make you stronger. That's everything for me, guys. Feel free to bully me in the comments and let me know why I'm wrong. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Hope you have a blessed day, and peace be with you. Bye.